So then how do you respond to Republicans who try to paint you and your party as anti-police?
They're lying. They aren't saying Joe Biden is anti-police. Cops are not saying that about Joe Biden. They know me. Period.
Here now, former Utah Republican Congressman Jason Chaffetz. He's also a Fox contributor. Jason, good evening. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
You know, you look at somebody like Joe Biden, he doesn't necessarily have to go out and do anything. A lot of the dirty work was done for him last summer after George Floyd, when we saw protests and riots erupting across the country here, and the whole defund the police movement started at that point. You know, to a certain extent, at this juncture, he's kind of saying the fire was started, and he's just kind of backing away from it now. Your thoughts?
Well, there's a reason why one of the major police unions for the first time actually endorsed Donald Trump and did not, after watching Obama and Biden in action, did not endorse them. And remember, it was Kamala Harris, his vice president, that he picked, who last summer was out bailing people out as fast as she could, raising money to get people out on the streets, advocates for cashless bail. The defund the police movement is bigger and broader than just Joe Biden. It is a Democratic policy position that was played out in all these major Democratic cities. I mean, look at New York City. They got rid of 500 undercover police officers. Guess what happened? Their crime went up. In Los Angeles, there's a 40% increase in the last 2 years. On homicides and on shootings. How many times do we have to watch Chicago with, nearly 100 shootings over a holiday weekend? Yeah. These positions are very clear, and all you have to do is roll back the tape and see all these Democrats saying, yeah, they want to defund the police. That was the policy position of Black Lives Matter, the organization. That was one of their key tenets.
It was, and he doesn't have to explicitly saying it. What I find interesting is the hypocrisy in general, right? It almost feels like the president is he looks the other way when something is happening and pretends like he doesn't see it. So, for example, we have a crisis at the border right now. He looks the other way as well, like he's doing here, and acts like it's not happening. Oh, and Kamala Harris is involved in that one, too.
Yeah, she's supposedly in charge of the border, won't go down to the border. And I think when the American public looks at the crime problem, they understand that we have an open border. There are people within the Democratic Party serving in Congress who want to abolish ICE, want to get rid of the Border Patrol, don't want any deportations. And AOC herself is advocating, if you want less people incarcerated, then stop building prisons and detention facilities. Now, that is just crazy. That does not resonate with the American public, but the Democrats don't shout it down.
Yeah, and when it comes to the border situation, I made this point before, which is it feels like some of the states down there on the border are fighting this battle alone. It's almost like they're every man for themselves, and they're fighting against the federal government. That seems to be the situation with crime across the country as well. I mean, where do we go from here? In the United States, we want to feel safe. We want to feel protected. We want to go to work and know that our children are safe when they go out to school. Yet this lawlessness is creating an environment that's really dangerous.
It is. I feel for those police officers, the men and women who are out there serving their families, who watch them go into battle each night. And look, part of the problem is the people who do get captured, that are charged with crimes, they aren't actually prosecuted along the way. So again, when you have these Democrats making these appointments and putting these judges into place who just let people go, look at Los Angeles. The district attorney there won't prosecute certain crimes. And part of the reason you see so many crimes, for instance, in California, is because they've raised the threshold, $950 now. You steal something less than that, police aren't even going to come. You watch that video there. People just brazenly go in and shoplift.
Yeah, that was amazing. And I'll make the point, actually, to what you just said, that if you look at California, if you look at Illinois, if you look at the crime in Chicago, if you look here in New York City, blue states, blue policies, people are leaving. That's what happens.
Yeah, no, if people want to feel safe. It's not just the people that are stealing this. It's the companies that are now making sure that their hours of operation are reduced. They have no way to defend themselves. And it's scary to be in a situation like that. I was in New York City when a shoplifting was occurring, and it was scary. Yeah. These guys were just ransacked this place and just went running and knew that the cops wouldn't come out.
It was scary. Jason, great to see you. Thanks so much for coming on tonight.